Oh, hey, Snow.
Hey, MJ.
Yeah. I think we had to take a mental break last week.
Yeah, it's always good to take mental
Yeah.
breaks.
Mental health is important.
Very important.
And I had just one of those weeks. It's just fatigue from life, work, kid stress, and just news stress overall.
Oh, I know. The stress, the news stress is a lot lately, too.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah, and we'll lead on that note, the fires in Hawaii, Maui.
Absolutely sad. So I've been to Maui and I stayed in the fancy part of Maui, but I always said we went into Lahaina one day to go eat at Cheeseburger in Paradise. It's a famous place on the beach. Really good cheeseburgers. But and I was whenever I come back to Maui, I want to stay in Lahaina because I liked the atmosphere there better. It was more laid back and.
But wasn't that where it burned down?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But it's gone now.
Yeah, gone.
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 Yeah, that's why I'm oh.
93 dead so far, and it's expected to continue.
Yeah, it's so sad. It was such a cool place.
And I guess the point on that is, at what point do all these billion-dollar disasters, I'm sure this wiped out this entire town. It's got to be multi-billions of damage. At what time does that become where it costs more than trying to combat climate change?
They need to make money off of oil and gas. I
heard a little bit on the news about this. There were certain ordinances around, that part of the state. You can't even bring up the term climate change because it's too political. Even though, certain people were warning that this could happen because Hawaii's going through a drought, which you wouldn't think Hawaii would be an area where you'd have droughts.
Mm-hmm.
That combined with, however, the fire started, and then the power companies didn't shut off power to the area, so which just created more when these hurricane winds came in, and the city just went up. People were having to go into the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they jumped into the water to avoid the flames.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's it. It's the oil companies that want to suppress the talk about climate change.
Yeah, they want their money, and they want it now.
Yeah. Look at Phoenix. How many days have they been above 100 degrees? It's a record number.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's been probably a month straight now.
Yeah, probably.
And very little rain. It looks like it might rain out now. Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll see some rain.
I was so bummed because last year at this time I was out in Indiana, and then you were getting rain every single day here.
Oh, I know. There. Yeah, we had a really good monsoon last year.
Yeah. So I guess the people in Hawaii, I don't think we have a whole lot of listeners out there. I think maybe we've had a couple, but the one thing that they were saying is if you had a vacation there and you were paying a photographer to take pictures of you while you were out there and you already booked it, and they were saying to if you could, don't cancel on those bookings. Not like they're going to be able to do it, but to keep the money going in so these businesses don't lose further business than what they already have. And I guess watch who you donate to, but you donate probably to the Red Cross, which would be the most sensible one, because the aid will go there on it. So sad. So going back, we'll recap some things over the last couple weeks. Pee Wee Herman died.
I know. So sad.
You know, and it's funny. You know, well, it's funny but not funny. Like his career was. Talk about being canceled. He was canceled.
You know what? And I was thinking about this too. I'm like, his was fucked up because it's like, okay, he whipped his wiener out, but it was in an adult film house. I'm like, isn't that like the place where it's appropriate to?
Yeah, isn't that what they do?
Like, and they all like railed on him. I'm like, he was literally in an adult. It's not like he went and watched like, you know, Finding Nemo and did it there. It's not like that's what happened. God, it wasn't in a theater full of kids.
Yeah, he was doing, you know, what perverts do. You know?
Leave the guy alone.
Yeah.
God.
But then everybody comes out with their tributes, but like, no, come on, people. You're the same people who were the brunt of all the Pee Wee, you know, made of all the Pee Wee jokes back in the day.
Right.
I thought he was pretty decent. I mean, I remember him in the movie Blow, where he played a drug dealer. He was pretty good in that.
Yeah, it was weird seeing him not as Pee Wee, you know, in that one. You're like, oh crap, that is Pee Wee.
Although, you know, to be fair, like, even in death, we're not mentioned by his real name, Paul Rubens.
Right.
So,
I know.
I wonder, like, what would be on his grave? Would it be Pee Wee or would it be Paul Rubens?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I think he sort of, I mean, he never got back to the level of popularity he had when we were kids, but he did sort of get past it. And
he made that one movie with that Pee Wee reboot or whatnot with the guy. I don't know how to say his last name, but his first name's Joe, and he's the one that was in the like the stripper movies, the male stripper movies.
Okay,
the Magic Mike guy.
Okay,
yeah.
Not Channing Tatum.
Yeah, no, the Joe guy. He was married to Sofia Vergara.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I don't know how to say his last name. I know it starts with an M, but
Mangionia.
It's something like that. Yeah, I'll let you fuck it up.
Speaking of movies, I saw the Barbie movie.
I'm jealous.
I went into it and I kind of wanted to, like, you know, put my head down, like, you should be ashamed that I'm going to see this but judging by the commercials, it looks dumb, right? And it is. It's dumb, but at the same time, it actually has a pretty good message.
Okay, don't ruin it for me though.
No,
I haven't seen it yet.
We'll just skate over it. And the fact that, you know, some conservatives melting down and Ben Shapiro burning Barbies and stuff like that because it's a man-hating movie. And like even Bill Maher said it was a man-hating movie.
Ken never really was the important one. I'm sorry, but these people need to get over it. It's always been about Barbie. Like,
yeah. And Ken is just friend zoned. He wants Barbie, right? But he's friend zoned.
He's basically just another one of her accessories.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and so the movie gets into it. But the smart part of the movie is that when the doll came out in, like, I think 1959, the creator of it wanted to create a doll for girls to play with that showed, you know, a woman can be an astronaut, she can be a lawyer, she can be a business executive, she can be a race car driver, or whatever other Barbies there were out there, right? Mm-hmm. Which there was a lot of different executive Barbie, you know, President Barbie. I don't know if that was one of those, but probably not.
It's to give girls self-esteem, basically.
To give girls self-esteem, and she wanted to do it for her daughter. And what changed up to that point where all dolls were babies. So it's basically teaching little girls that's what you do, is you take care of a baby, right? And it's not really ruining it by telling you that's how the movie starts. Is that once Barbie came out, then they threw out the baby dolls, and here, let's play with this Barbie that can, you know, inspire me to become something. You know? And it was actually kind of brilliant the way the movie did it. and the Kens, they're seeking Barbie's attention, but Ken's friend zoned, and that's part of it. And it also, the way it makes fun of men is, if you want to get their attention and distract them, all you do is you talk to another Ken.
Uh-huh.
And then the Ken will get jealous of the other Ken, and all the Kens will start infighting. Right? And it's kind of true.
Right.
That happens.
Well, I mean, they're telling all these men that didn't like the movie, or they think the movie hates on men. It's like, Barbie was a doll for girls, pretty much. I mean, anyone's allowed to play with her, but for the most part, it was a doll for girls. So it's kind of telling from the female perspective. So if you don't like that, or it makes you uncomfortable, the only thing I can say is maybe you shouldn't watch it then, like you don't need to cancel. Okay, Ben Shapiro, I'm talking to you. Get over it. Not everything in this world is from a male perspective. I'm sorry to tell you that.
Speaking of canceling, my kid's grandfather and my youngest were having they were having a debate earlier today, and somehow the subject of old cartoons got brought up, and the grandfather said, well, yeah, we had this, this cartoon growing up, Heckle and Jekyll, and it was two crows,
Uh-huh.
And he goes, and my youngest, smart goes, yeah, that was that racist one that, the crows were kind of like racial stereotypes and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And it kind of made fun of black people. And, the grandfather was like, well, back in our day, we didn't get butthurt about stuff. And, yeah, it was making fun of black people, but, everyone was getting made fun of. And my youngest goes, well, not in a stereotypical kind of way, though.
Uh-huh.
He goes, well, yeah, you have Popeye, though, and Popeye was a white person. He goes, yeah, but Popeye's a hero, and they weren't really making fun of Popeye. The kid was going toe to toe.
He's explaining it to him pretty much
and he goes back to the old, racial goes back to race. Well, people being butthurt. And I finally had to chime in. I'm like, okay, but the grandfather, when Heckle and Jekyll was out, the black people did have to sit, in the back of the bus, and they had separate water fountains. So,
yeah,
the kid here does have a point.
Right?
Just because it was appropriate then doesn't mean it's not necessarily appropriate now. And the only one I was
right, and it didn't really mean it was appropriate back then. They just did it anyways.
Yeah.
They
did. Yeah, they knew what they were doing.
Right.
No, it's not appropriate, though. Wear blackface now. And I guess they were also brought up, All in the Family. People be all offended by All in the Family now. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Because back in the day, All in the Family was controversial back then, too.
Mm-hmm. People
were kind of like, whoa. I mean, I remember watching a little kid I can't believe they said it on TV.
Mm-hmm.
But this is coming from the same people, and I pulled my kids aside afterwards, and it was just I hate the term butthurt. They all use that term butthurt, where it's no, we're not really butthurt by this. It doesn't really affect us. But then as he left, I'm going, huh. But these are the same people who are quote unquote butthurt about the Barbie movie, about Bud Light cans, and about the Barbie movie.
Right.
It's the same thing.
It's like, what? How do you not see that you're butthurt over things that make you butthurt? How did they not see that? You know what I mean? Because clearly Barbie is upsetting some people, some men. I haven't really heard of her upsetting any women yet. I'm sure Laura Ingraham has probably put her 2 cents in on it, but
Yeah.
you know, is she
Well-
really a good example of what to go to on what a normal, average American woman feels, though? I mean, because I feel like she's out of her mind sometimes. I feel like it's like a robot took over, like an old man robot took over her body and just like types in what she's to say, but it sounds like it's coming from an old man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I did, no offense to the grandfather, but I was like, dude, you're sounding like a really out of touch person.
Right?
Right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what it is. I mean, it's funny, like, we make jokes about it, but that's pretty much what they are. They're out of touch.
Yeah.
They're out of touch, folks, you know?
Yeah. You know, and we'll get to that. But that made me think of, like, the Sound of Freedom movie, and I had another friend post, it's like, me and my husband haven't been to a movie in years. We're going to have a good time. What did they choose to go see? The Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom.
Well,
So patriotic.
I don't know. Like, I will watch it once it comes on some streaming service just to check it out.
Yeah, I'm going to watch it when it's free.
You know, and
Not paying to see that.
but it's come out now that two of the people that helped fund, because it's one of those movies that's crowdfunded. You know, people put their money about to get the distribution, to get it into theaters. Well, it's come out that two of those people have been linked to either child pornography or child kidnapping.
Wow.
Okay, so that
Who's
means
the second one now?
I forget his name.
Oh.
But you had that first one, and there's another one now. And now it's not funny, but it's funny that the people that are actually funding this movie are also, they believe in QAnon and the fact that the rich people are, you know, the rich liberals, Hollywood elite, and Hillary Clinton and stuff like that are eating babies to stay young and all this other stuff. It doesn't have that in the movie, to be fair, but the actor that's in it and certain people attached to it are QAnon.
Oh, James Caviezel.
Yeah, they're QAnon people, which that is what QAnon is about. So,
QAnon loves their conspiracies.
So
They're Q-spiracies.
isn't that just deflection? Like aren't they just deflecting? Like these people that funded the movie that have been linked to child kidnapping, they're funding a movie that's supposed to divert the tactic of blaming the liberals for what they...
Don't look at us. We're not the molesters over here.
Yeah,
Secretly, we are.
Just like the Catholic priests and everything else.
Well, that's what I always say. Like, if you want to find where all the molesters are, chances are go to any church, you know, and look there first. I mean, no offense, because not all churches, right? But I'm saying if you want to have better luck, you probably could find some if you go to like a handful of churches, you know, or did your research on like a handful of churches.
Yeah.
And again, let me repeat, we are not saying all churches.
Not all.
Oh my God, not all, but there's a good majority of them who have partaken.
Right.
And been busted.
Yeah, I always had a theory about that. Like, if you're a priest and they're telling you to be celibate, then aren't you just going to attract the people that, you know, they'd be a little bit, you know, because if you're a man and you don't want to have sex, there's something a little bit off about you. I mean, hey, if you do it in the name of religion, and okay, more power to you. But it seems like you attract someone that's a little bit off. Right?
Yeah.
You know, and that's probably the people who are ashamed of who they are, and then they just cannot help but act on their impulses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They should have a better vetting system in the churches, I guess.
Oh, yeah, they should have a better vetting system everywhere, pretty much, right?
Yeah. And, you know, again, and if you're in it about saving the children, then wouldn't you be against the razor wires that are in the Rio Grande
You'd be against a lot of things if you were actually for saving the children.
Yeah, you'd support foster care.
It's another slogan to where they can feel better about themselves. Well, at least I'm a good parent or whatever, but it's like...
Yeah, and
it's just another slogan.
Saving the children. And wouldn't you want to make sure that children don't go to bed hungry?
Yeah,
wouldn't you want to make sure that children have access to health care?
Right.
On it. And we can go on and on about this subject. And in this movie, The Sound of Freedom, it takes place like in Central America, child trafficking in Central America. These are the same people that if they were legitimately fleeing a civil war and coming to our country, you would stop them. You would not want them in the country. Right? The exact same children. So, I don't know. And your message really is...
I don't think we're ever going to make sense to those folks. I mean, they're convinced that everything they're doing is right, no matter... They've even convinced themselves that the hate that they have is justified and right hate, Right. It's almost like, well, they look at it like, oh, well, I'm all for saving the children, so it's cool that I talk shit about other groups, other marginalized groups. It's okay if I attack those groups,
And that goes back to, the grandfather, like, I don't think he's overtly racist, but he just doesn't see.
He just doesn't get it.
How things can be looked at racially insensitive.
Or he doesn't care. Like, there's that too. I'm not saying maybe not him specifically, but there's people who they don't know or they don't care. It's not something that personally offends them. So it's like, well, what are the rest of you crying about? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You see why like some ministers down south are starting to get a little pushback from the people in their church, because when they teach about Jesus turning the other cheek, they're saying, why are you telling us about these woke policies about Jesus?
When Jesus was woke. It's like, Jesus was, that whole term, like bleeding heart, that's actually about Jesus. And then they turn that into a bad thing. They turn that into, that means you're like a bleeding heart liberal. It's like, well, so was Jesus. But now Jesus is the bad guy to these people? Yeah. But then he's not. He's like, well, it's like they're this person that they worship, yet they have no idea about the man. It's only the symbol of Jesus. It's only what Jesus symbolizes.
The white Jesus.
That they like. Yeah, the whole dying on the cross thing and everything like that. But they have no idea what Jesus was really about.
Yeah, and the big thing about Jesus is really only two things. That you love God and you love your neighbor as you love yourself. Right? That's the big two ones. It doesn't say love your neighbor unless they're gay or a different color or they're from a different country. Jesus' parents were immigrants.
I know. They don't get that though. They don't. It's like it doesn't affect them. I don't know how to get through to them, so I don't. That's why I always just talk about food.
That's like, go.
We can at least agree on that.
Yeah. Are you getting like Trump indictment fatigue?
Oh God.
I mean, we got 3 now, and we're about to have a 4th.
Yeah, I know. I think it's 3, right?
Yeah, it's 3. There's gonna be a 4th. It came out that I think it was today that they have evidence that ties Trump's legal team, especially Rudy Giuliani, with hacking into a voting machine to get the information to prove unsuccessfully that the machines were changing the vote count to Biden, even if you voted for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So there's ties now to that. And I think Giuliani's going to get indicted on this one.
Good.
Trump's going to get indicted on it. I don't know for what charges. And I mean, I'm sick of hearing about it. I just wish this shit would just go to trial.
I know. It's like, let's just get it over with.
Yeah.
Get it over with.
Yeah,
get whatever's going to happen to him. Let it happen to him. You know?
Yeah. And so his Trump super PAC went from $100 million down to $3 million in legal fees.
It's going to be expensive.
Yeah. And he's blaming it on the left.
Of course he is. They're stealing my money.
They're trying to...
they're stealing our money. He's got to include them. Our money.
They're stealing our money, so I can't put out anti-Biden television commercials to tell you all the corruption the Bidens are doing.
Right. They're stealing our money, and they're trying to hold me responsible for it.
Yes. And people just believe this. God, you just want to see, just don't you have some common sense? And to the point with the grandfather, when he was listening to the news about, the wildfires in Hawaii, when it came out to that, we had breaking news about the Trump forthcoming indictment in Georgia. He turned the channel.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
Don't tell me about my Lord and Savior who's done more bad things.
I don't want to hear it.
I don't believe you anyways.
Like William Barr came out and said, he was talking all this shit about Trump, but still said he would vote for him over Biden.
I know. Because they don't want to pay taxes. That is what it's all about. Well, William Barr the reason why he's out there saying that is he has a lot of money. He wants to be getting out of paying taxes, But he won't just say that that's why he'll vote for Trump again.
Yeah.
I'll vote for Trump again because I don't want to pay taxes.
Yeah.
I want you poor suckers to pay my taxes. I will definitely fucking vote for that.
Even if it ruins democracy.
Right. I will vote for that. I want you poor bastards paying my taxes.
It's just
and they're like, oh yeah, he's got a point. No, dummy, that means you. You're going to be paying more, you dumb son of a bitch.
Yeah, but the dummies don't realize that.
Oh God, they're so stupid.
You can't. There's nothing you can do to get through to them.
There's nothing you can say. You can't even simplify it and say, look, they're doing this because they don't want to fucking pay tax. Yeah. They want you to pay their taxes. You dumb fucking moron.
You know what? Since they won't listen to the indictments, I guess this will be the game plan. Okay? You list out all the crimes that he's charged with in the indictments. You put it on a Facebook page and say, a certain presidential candidate, a certain Democratic presidential candidate, there's evidence that they did A, B, C, D, E, F. There's 57 at least charges. Okay, so who knows how many will come in Georgia. So we have these 60 things. And just say it was Hillary Clinton. And of course they'd be like, hang her, lock her up. No, this was Trump.
He had good reason to do these things. Then, if he had to do them, then I believe he had to do them for a reason.
The left was setting me up.
Yeah, it's all Antifa. It's not him. They're just lying to make him look bad.
Fucking someone else posted this morning, this is what the January 6th committee didn't tell you. And it's a Marjorie Taylor Greene video of her talking about, where's all the indictments about the Black Lives Matter who are burning down cities? The January 6th investigation was not about the Black Lives Matter protesters.
How do they take seriously anything that comes out of that bitch's mouth? I mean, seriously. anytime they play a clip of her, I just automatically start laughing because I'm waiting for the stupid part. I'm like, okay, where is it? Where is it? Here it comes in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, because to break it down for her, the January 6th committee was not, going against it wasn't investigating the Black Lives Matter rioters.
Because the Black Lives Matter rioters were not there, you dumb fuck. It's like, hello, you know who was there? The idiots on your side, and you know it too. She knows it too. She's playing dumb because she was all in on that. I wouldn't be surprised if her ass doesn't get investigated soon.
Oh yeah, she's going to be.
That's what she's doing, is deflecting also.
They're holding a lot of indictments back on that. A lot more people are going to get charged.
I hope her ass gets charged.
And so, another thing in the cancel culture that ties into Black Lives Matter is there was this race car driver, Noah Gregson, and he races for Jimmy Johnson, a 7-time champion, started a new race team. Well, he got suspended by the race team and then by NASCAR because he had liked a tweet that was a picture of George Floyd's face superimposed over the crab from The Little Mermaid.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of under the sea, it was under the knee.
Oh my God.
Well, and all he did was like it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, everybody's like, oh, NASCAR, I'm never watching NASCAR again. The NASCAR's gone woke, But no, Wendy's, the fast food chain, is a multi-million-dollar sponsor of yours, Noah Gregson, and Jimmy Johnson's race team.
Okay.
So I think Wendy's might have been a little pissed off about that because they don't want their spokesman kind of liking that kind of message.
Mm-hmm.
And although I like Noah Gregson and stuff like that, it's a dumb mistake. But he has to answer to huge corporations, NASCAR, Wendy's, his other corporate sponsors, Chevrolet, and stuff like that. And if you would have to be really careful. I'm really careful about what I post on social media. Because I work for a corporation. It's part of your, I say really vague things and stuff like that. Trying to get too political. If you're a spokesman for a company, you kind of got to watch your ass.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Just like, it's kind of just a little insensitive. And why throw your career away by doing it?
Over a dumb meme.
Yeah. Just don't like it.
I know.
You can laugh. And
did you have to click on it?
No. They just saw that he liked it, and I don't know how.
Did he have to click the like button? He couldn't have just
Yeah. And that's again, a debate with the grandfather because we're both NASCAR fans. And he was just like, well, I can't believe that they're suspending him over liking a thing. I'm like, and I tried to explain the corporate thing. I was just like, well, because the corporation, stuff like that. And he was like, well, still, I'm like, okay, well.
Why is it your decision over the corporations? I'm sorry, Grandpa, but what?
But wouldn't that be the same thing? Like if you saw that something you thought was
maybe
funny.
if he was working for you, you could have given him a raise. Then I don't know, they don't feel like giving him a raise.
But think about this. This is back in the 70s. You know what I mean? And you saw something that you thought was inappropriate but funny, and you printed it out. I guess we'd have to go to the 80s to do that, and you handed it out.
Mm-hmm.
If your bosses, your corporation found out about that you were passing around this stuff to the other employees, you'd probably be fired, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's happened. I'm sure back in the 80s, you pass inappropriate shit around, you get fired. No, so it's the same thing. And corporations you have the freedom of speech. They say, oh, they're infringing on his freedom of speech. Yeah, no, he said it. He liked it. He didn't actually say it. He just liked it.
They can just decide that they don't want to pay you anymore. Yeah. They could be like, go say whatever you want. But you will have all the time now. Now that we've fired you, you have tons of time to go like stuff like this.
Like all you want.
So good for you. I mean, What? They just want to bitch. Grandpa just wants to bitch. It's like he has more than, you are correct. I agree with you. He has freedom of speech. But this corporation that pays him also has the freedom to say, we're done paying you now. So you want to do that? You are welcome to go do more of it, because you will have all the time that you want to now, because we don't have to worry about paying you, and you will have lots of freedom because you'll have a job.
Yeah, and we will just hire another driver who will not post stupid stuff on the internet.
How is that
or
not,
like stuff?
How is that not sensible? I mean, it's like, what?
Well, yeah. On that note, this just also came through. Like the Arizona legislator is trying to overturn. You know how we voted to keep dirty money out of politics in Arizona last year?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the state legislature wants to turn that down because they think businesses have a right to make political decisions.
Right. They're agreeing with the Citizens United verdict.
Right. But isn't that the exact same thing, though? That, okay, corporations want to overturn the will of the people to keep dirty money out of politics, so the corporations keep on paying these, legislators to pass the bills that they want, pay off Supreme Court justices to get the laws to go the way you want. But the same corporations are, say, threaten Jimmy Johnson's team to pull their sponsorship because of this. Then doesn't Jimmy Johnson have the right to fire the driver?
Mm-hmm. It's just all lies. Like the whole thing with Citizens United. Look at how friendly that slogan sounds. Citizens United. Fuck yeah, that seems like we're all on the same team. That's not what it means. It means that they want corporations, they're considering it corporations should have free speech. Corporations are people and money is free speech. So they should be allowed to donate monies to political parties. What they're doing, though, is they're just buying our government because they're buying everything to be set up in their favor. So it means, just like the slogan of right to work state, means nothing of what it says. It sounds like, oh, yes, I have the right to work. I'm an American, goddammit. I have the right to have a job here. That is not what it means. It means you have the right to work for less. It's all an anti-union
right. And we have the right
rhetoric.
We have the right to fire you for whatever.
Right. Fire at will. It's insane. And it's like they make up these clever statements so they can attach more lies to it to explain what they are trying to get the people to believe what they're doing. But that's not at all what they're doing. They're buying the fucking government. They want the cards set up in their favor. They don't want to pay taxes.
I will say, from a messaging standpoint, they beat the left every time.
Oh, they're geniuses at it. Like, Don't get me wrong. I've always talked about how Citizens United, that's a good one. Another one that they've came up with, Americans for Prosperity. That's the Koch brothers slogan. That's their group. That's one of their PACs. Americans for Prosperity. How does that sound bad? That doesn't sound bad, right?
No.
But it's all more for corporations and against the common folk.
But we come up with defund the police. So.
I know. See, like the left sucks at messaging.
Oh, shit. All right. Hey, I think pause here for a second. Sorry about that quick break there. We just had to grab another drink because we're going on these rants.
Refills. It was time for refills.
Right. What were you just saying during the break, though? Because that was pretty good.
Oh, all right. Well, I was talking about how it's all, we're like, they're tricking dumb people. They're like, here, have your guns and go play in the corner. Don't pay attention to the shit we really want to do. We'll never take your guns. Don't worry. Because they don't care if we kill each other either. What the fuck do they care?
Yeah.
They don't care. So they love the poorly educated too. They would like to turn us all into the poorly educated. Why do you think there's a tax on schools? and whatnot. And they want to do, why do you think that even in our own state, what we got, remember when we did the petition thing and got the Save Our Schools and we won?
Yeah.
And they went ahead and fucking did whatever they want with it anyways.
Yep.
So like all of our hard work meant nothing. It's,
shit.
I just wish that people would realize that don't trust these people. Like, of course they're going to give you a shiny toy so you don't pay attention to what they're really trying to do, They're like, nothing for you to see over here. Meanwhile, we're just over here. We're just we're figuring out plans on how to get rid of your Medicare, how to get rid of your Social Security. But hey, keep those guns. Hey, have a few more.
Right.
Get some more too. Hey,
right.
Somebody needs to have a gun sale soon.
But and then they're going to get rid of your Access health insurance, here
right?
in Arizona.
Yeah, Medicaid. It's all part of that. It's like don't watch what we're doing over here to your stuff.
They want to cut your food stamps. They want to cut your unemployment. They want to cut your fixed income and all this other shit. All things that Mojave County relies on.
They'd like to cut your wages. They don't want to hear anything about wage increases. They'd like to continue paying you what they think is fair for you to live off of.
Even though inflation is going up, even though gas prices start to come down, Well,
right now the gas prices went back up because of it's harder for those things to work in this extreme heat. Did you know that part of it is extreme heat? It's affecting like the refining process.
Not climate change again. Fuck.
Don't make me laugh.
So gas prices are going up, but it's Biden's fault. But we can't combat climate change, right?
Because it's harder to run the refineries when it's so fucking hot out, So yes, that's another mind fuck about our poor planet, right?
Oh fuck! Like I went out this morning, to cook kids breakfast, get some sausage and bacon and stuff like that. I'm like going, wow, this shit's expensive, and you find yourself like every week doing that. But again, do these fucking corporations, once that because gas prices did come down there for a little while,
right?
Did the price of anything at the grocery store go down?
The eggs did go back down.
Right, but they solved the chicken problem. Right. That's why they were up. Like, I don't know what they are. Normally, they're not bad right now, though, I think. But the price of everything else is still more expensive. Because corporations, once they get you used to paying...
Right, then you don't even notice it. Like, you're not noticing it anymore.
It's never going to come back down to what it was.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it won't,
like if you go to get like a 16-ounce soda now at the store, it's like, $2.19 or something. Well, like and if when it used to be like $1.39.
If we had more, competition, then we would. Isn't like our country becoming where like, it's like, only a few major corporations are starting to own our grocery stores now, too.
Yeah, like all of our grocery stores here in Kingman are starting to all like...
they're almost all under the Kroger brand, right?
Yeah. So then effectively, even though there's 4 grocery stores, we'll effectively only have 2 bashes.
And we could use, like with our population growth, we could use another grocery store. I'm sorry, every time I go, it's packed.
Yeah.
It's always busy. I'm like, they need to put one up Wallapai Mountain Road since there's so many homes over in that area too. That would solve a lot. And that would help. Those people wouldn't have to come all the way down the hill to go grocery shopping.
How about one in Golden Valley?
Yeah, they could use one there. They talked years ago about getting a Costco out there. And I was like, that would have been great. That would be great jobs for people in this area too. Costco plays really well.
But Hunter Biden.
I know.
That's who the president's son is the one that we should worry about. And so fucking Merrick Garland appointed a special counsel to investigate Hunter Biden because his plea deal fell through. Okay, whatever. I'm like, all for it. Investigate him. Fine. Investigate him. If you got something, then fine. And charge him and prosecute him if you have that. Just like Trump. Okay?
No one is above the law.
Did the crime, do the time. Whatever. So they appointed the lawyer that the Republicans were calling for. Like some 20-something, Republican congressman said, yeah, appoint this guy to head the special counsel, which is exactly what Merrick Garland did. Now, this weekend, what do you think those same Republicans were tweeting or Xing about? Since Twitter's no longer around, it's just X now. They were Xing about. They were saying how that lawyer cannot be trusted to do an impartial investigation against Hunter Biden. He'll be too lenient on him. The person that they wanted.
Oh my God. They're just, if they don't come out and say whatever they want to say, they're never going to believe it anyways. They're going to, even if we go through a whole investigation of Hunter Biden, there comes out something, you think that's the end of them sitting there accusing Hunter Biden?
No, just like Hillary Clinton, still Hillary Clinton.
They need certain enemies in order to feel better.
They didn't find anything on Hillary. Now, the same thing with Trump.
And they still hate her and they still think she's guilty of something.
The same thing as Trump. If Trump goes to trial and they find him not guilty, then okay.
We have to accept it.
Yeah. Okay.
Fine.
That's the way it works.
Right. I don't know why. I don't know what the fucking problem is with some of the Americans in this goddamn country.
At this point, though,
they don't deserve to be here.
I don't think Joe Biden is doing a bad job at all. But at some point, don't you think the Democrats should maybe just go, you know what? I just run somebody else then. I don't know who it would be. I have a couple people that I really like in the Democratic Party. I think Hakeem Jeffries.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's a whole issue of, they don't want to be stepping on toes because he wants to do it, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Just part of me just wishes he would just to get not have that whole Hillary-like thing where Hunter Biden, even though it's not Joe Biden, it's, Hillary. Or they're doing all these trials against Trump because Joe Biden's administration is so corrupt.
You're just so stupid. The shit they come up with, right. I'm just like...
But they also say Joe Biden's a bumbling idiot, right? But he's a criminal mastermind.
I know. How can he be both? Is what I want to know. And he's the biggest genius we've ever seen. And he should be the leader of the cult. If he's able to do all that.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That gets me to the last point I wanted to rant about. School boards. Here in...
Beautiful Kingman, Arizona.
They were going to appoint a position to the school board because they needed somebody to fill into the next election. And one of the most qualified... I don't want to name names. But one of the most qualified candidates I ever have known, and she led the Save for Schools movement and stuff like that, was trying to run for a position on the board, get a position on the board, appointed. And despite all of her qualifications and being an educator, and knowing the system and knowing the funding and all this, top to bottom, who do we appoint?
Probably some douchebag.
EMT, helicopter pilot. Nothing against EMTs, helicopter pilots, first responders, and stuff like that. But how is that person more qualified than an educator that's been there for years?
Because they don't give teachers credit for shit. So they're like, yeah, but this person's amazing. They're out there saving lives.
Yeah.
Flying lives around, saving them.
And this one lady got up, and she's a retiree. I would say probably mid to late 60s. And she gets up in front of the school board before they make their vote, and she gets up and being like, well, I would like to go through any candidate and ask them, do they support critical race theory and teaching in our schools? Do they support teaching our kids to be a part of the LGBTQ community? Like that's being taught.
None of this
like
is
that's
happening.
actually being taught.
But they believe this
yeah,
shit.
and that there's evil satanic books in our schools that teach us how to hate the white history, and I'm just going and just parroting every Fox News fucking parrot point, and I was just finding myself I'm just like seething watching her, even though she wasn't being like overly racist or overly anti-LGBTQ, but she would just say those little dog whistles. Like, yes, the teachers are teaching your kids to be gay.
Mm-hmm.
Is that really happening anywhere?
That's what they think. I think they honestly believe that.
Or are they just trying to teach people to be more inclusive, and these people are part of the community? And are they really teaching, like, that white people are bad? Or are they just teaching the history of the country? We haven't always done good things.
I know. I don't remember. Do you remember any kids when you were taught that in school running out of there and not being able to handle it and just being like, I can't handle what they're teaching me about this. I got to get out of here. And
right.
Running. Do you remember any of that going on?
Right. Like
no.
When we were taught about slavery.
We fucking learned it.
And the Underground Railroad. Did you ever go home feeling bad about yourself because you were white?
No, where I wanted to go home and slit my wrists. No, I don't know what they're fucking talking about. It's kind of like we were like, wow.
But
there were some assholes back there, we're like, wow, that really happened? Okay. But then you learn about it, you're like, wow, that sucks that people got treated like that. And you're not sitting there thinking about committing suicide because you feel so bad about what happened. I don't understand what they're thinking. Is that how they felt when they were taught this? This is the only thing I can. What did you go attempt suicide the day you were taught this?
Right. Although, if you are kind of a racist person, did that make you feel a little bit guilty by hearing that?
I don't know.
Or did it make?
I don't know. I'm trying to understand where the fuck it is that some of these assholes are coming from. It's like, how did it make you feel that you feel like you need to save the children from this experience, this terrible experience? I got to save the children.
Yeah. We can't teach history.
Or they're going to want to kill themselves if they learn about how the country was started.
Right. And you know what? And a good point is, about the guns and, the government wants to come and take our guns. Well, we have to stand up to an oppressive government. Doesn't that mean the government can do shady shit? And that's what you're afraid of? That's what you need your guns? But we can't teach you about the shady shit we actually did in the past.
I know. It's like, when you want to know about it, so you be on top of things, or then you would know.
We really need someone with deep conservative beliefs who is well spoken to come and help explain these things to us. I know.
What is it that you guys see when, or what do you feel when you hear this? Did you go running and screaming out of your history class when you were taught about slavery?
Yeah. And not deflect. If we talk about January 6th and you change the subject to Portland, no, let's talk about January 6th, and then we can talk about Portland too.
Yeah, we'll talk about Portland.
Yeah.
But at the time, if we're asking you the questions, you don't get to come on here and try to turn it into your interview show.
Yeah. And if we're talking about the indictments against Donald Trump, we talk about Donald Trump. We don't talk about Hillary.
Yeah.
No, we can talk about Hillary.
We can talk about Hillary.
But when we talk about Donald Trump, let's talk about Donald Trump.
We got to stay on topic, folks.
Huh. I wonder if that's even possible with like in I'm not saying left is innocent too,
No, they're not. They most definitely are not.
I get it, cancel culture. I'm anti cancel culture and comedy and stuff like that. Stand up for David Chappelle, the way he says. I support the LGBTQ community, but I also support David Chappelle. Mm-hmm. Because I realized,
hey, shit, I support that guy that wanted to make the thing, and maybe he wants to go try to get a new career at being a comedian. Now you're gonna have free time since you can't be a racer anymore.
Yeah, Noah Gregson. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're not go ahead, say whatever you want. I support your freedom of speech. Maybe you can try to make a career out of this, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you could team up with Jason Aldean and you could be in his next video.
Yeah, try that in a small town.
Yeah, it could be about racing cars and stuff. Maybe you could have like a race car driver.
I guess, speaking of the trying this in a small town, we're trying to get on this topic, trying this in a small town, I kind of like pay attention to the Mojave County Criminal News page, and we had...
Did somebody try something in a small town?
Yeah. A woman tried to break up with a man in Dolan Springs, and he chased her down on their off-road vehicles, whatever they were, and he crashed into her, made it seem like an accident. She got killed. Well, it turned out he murdered her.
Yeah.
She shouldn't have tried that in a small town.
Don't fuck around in a small town.
Especially out in Dolan Springs.
Yeah.
Shit. And you see more white-on-white crime.
Yeah.
In a small town.
Yeah,
Why did Jason Aldean put that in his video?
Crime's going up in a small town. That's what he should have said. Crimes be going up in small towns. Yeah. So yeah, don't fuck with us because we'll make our crime stats go up even higher.
Yeah.
That's what we do in small towns.
We like to cut our funding for education in a small town.
And spend it on guns.
Spend it on guns. To protect yourself in a small town.
Right?
Or if your girlfriend tries leaving you.
I will run your ass over. Whew, yeah.
All right. Well, geez, so much for our mental health. We got ourselves all worked up. Got blood pressure up.
Yeah, we got to discuss everything.
Yeah.
So
since you've been gone, that catches you up on. I think we even missed some topics because there was a lot going on in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up though.
But we will try to keep it back on topic. Be back here hopefully next week. But hey, we take a little time off during the summer too.
Yeah, it's too hot to work sometimes.
Too hot to sit in AC and podcast.
Right? Too hot to sit in one place.
Yeah. All right. And if I get sick of hearing our fucking rants, just about, especially getting indicted, we're sick of fucking talking about that again.
Yeah.
Just get it over with.
Yeah.
Just can't he just fucking get a bucket of chicken and just choke?
Or some Big Macs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are his arteries not clogged?
I don't know. It's amazing.
And can you imagine having the blood pressure he must have? I mean, God, put me on whatever he's on. Because I'm not that angry.
Right?
Man.
Huh.
I don't know. But I guess that shows that the elite have great health care.
Yeah, they do.
So, there you go. All right, so we'll talk to you next week, and goodbye.
Bye, y'all.
See ya.